Welcome to the Clutch Buckets Podcast. My name is Josh Tyson.
And I'm Kyle Spence.
Their profession, our passion, your court. Check ball to you. What's good, Cal? Back in the building.
Tyson? Back in the building. Yeah. We took some time off, of course, as always, to make sure that we have a comprehensive show that we wanted to present to you today. And we're going to even go a little bit farther back to the NBA All-Star Game, where the Shaq OGs were actually the winners of the NBA All-Star Game, along with the NBA All-Star Weekend. We're just going to do a quick recap of that entire weekend. Tyson, what are your thoughts?
I mean, they switched up the format to try something different. It was decent. You know, you had the OGs on Team Shaq. Of course, you know, they were going to get it. Team Chuck, man, you had all the newbies, trying to put in work. Wemby went off. You know, Wemby was doing this thing out there. I mean, the new format is decent. It's okay. It's better than what we had last year, but you still got players really not playing defense, man. Nobody really wants it out there. Nobody, it's not any type of real competition. Nobody's playing seriously. So I mean, it's still whack. So
well, what are your thoughts then about the All-Star Weekend in totality? Did you feel as though there are any high points?
Not for me personally.
Oh wow.
Not for me personally. That's just me, because I'm all about pride of the game and the competition, man. I mean, if you're not out there to really compete, man, if you're not taking it seriously, how can I take it seriously, man?
So, yikes. Okay. Well, let me tell you what I thought about the All-Star Weekend. I thought that it was mid at best, bad at its worst.
Yeah.
We did a skills challenge, for example. Of course, Chris Paul is in there cheating like he always does.
I mean,
apparently, it was Victor Wembanyama's idea, but you know Chris Paul is going to go ahead with that because he's always going to be that type of player.
Yeah.
You're cheating the game in a skills challenge. You already started terribly. Then after that, the three-point contest was okay at best. Tyler Hero wasn't even shooting the ball that well, in my opinion, for him to have won it. But, you know, it's always good to kind of see how people are kind of shooting. But even then, it wasn't even that exciting. Slam dunk contest. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh, man.
Like stop it. I mean, at some
point, we gotta stop.
Yeah,
at some point.
I'd be like, yo, is this... Like, because even the ratings are down. Like, why are we even doing it anymore if you're not going to change it up? So my, you know what make me watch the slam dunk contest? You go out there, every NBA player that's eligible to be in the dunk contest, who wants to be in the dunk contest, they go into the streets and they recruit one dunker. They could be popular on YouTube. It could be from somewhere, you know, they recruit somebody who's a great dunker and they bring them in so we could see, because those people will bring all the energy that you need. And most likely they're going to be better dunkers than what you see out there, because that's all they do is dunk. You bring that, I think it's going to be out the chain.
But here's the thing. You're supposed to be showcasing and highlighting the NBA players and their skill sets. That's the whole point of the All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
We could pass, we could dribble, we could shoot, we could dunk, we could play.
Right.
That was a whole concept.
Yeah.
So for us to literally be at this point where we're like, you know what, don't even participate. Right. Let's find some other people to do it in our stead. That tells us that you don't care about the game. Yeah, you don't care about the weekend, I should say, as much as we, as the viewers, the fans, we were looking forward for it. Dog, I almost went to this one. Believe it or not. I almost went. I had a whole plan, because these tickets ain't cheap. It was going to cost me and the group between $3,500 and $5,000 per person to go to this. That would include the tickets for Saturday and Sunday. It was going to include the flight, the hotel, blah, blah, blah. You had to get a block of stay. I've been in contact with the NBA Experience store, et cetera, et cetera. I'm glad I didn't go.
Yeah.
That would have been a waste of money. I'm not starstruck to see the players to be like, oh my goodness, this is a 7 foot person in front of me. I'm not that starstruck.
Right.
So if I wasn't going to actually be there to see the players, I would have gone there to see the entertainment
The
value.
entertainment.
And
Yeah.
the entertainment value from an NBA perspective, because I'm sure outside of that, they had other events going on that I could
They
have
did.
appreciated.
Mm.
From an NBA perspective, it's a disappointment. And
Complete
I don't like
disappointment.
to waste my time, and I especially don't like to waste my money. Going to the All-Star game itself, I said on Facebook at one point, wait a minute, is this competition I'm seeing?
Right.
And then I commented maybe 10 minutes later, false alarm.
Oh, my bad.
Why?
My
Because
bad.
the
Yeah.
Rising Stars played the OGs. And the Rising Stars actually gave them some competition to
Mm-hmm.
begin with. And then the OGs had to literally like say, all right, we need to buckle down, play some defense, and put up some shots in order for us to actually win this game because we're not about to get embarrassed by this.
Right.
According to them, they said that they were going to be competitive in the last game against Chuck's Global Stars,
Yeah.
but because of the 30-minute delay in between when they were honoring Chuck and Shaq and inside the NBA, they said that 30-minute break in between at halftime was so discouraging that they didn't have the energy and didn't feel like they needed to do much after that. Go ahead, Tyson.
What was discouraging about 30 minutes?
They said that they were in rhythm
So
and they got completely out of rhythm in that long pause.
Kyle, how long is halftime? How long does halftime usually last?
I don't know. I really don't. Isn't it like
It's
15 minutes at most?
I think
16
it
minutes?
go. I think it's like 20 minutes. Like all in all, between the time they stop, media does their commercials. I think it's like 15, 20 minutes. So
It's
it's about
15.
the
It's
time.
15.
It's about the time of halftime. So you telling me you was going to go all out and a 30-minute delay deterred you from going all out? I don't believe a word of it, man. If you're gonna go
Believe
all
it.
out, if you're gonna go all out, you're gonna go all out, despite something. Like I could see 2, 3 hour delays, 30 minutes, 30
I
minutes.
don't believe that. That's the excuse that they came up with now. Not to say that I believe it, but that's the excuse that they came up
Right.
with.
I
And I
can't.
thought that, did you watch this? Because they honored inside the NBA with a full video hours, maybe an hour before this entire thing started. So
Yeah.
for them to do the same video, just chopped up a little differently in the
Why?
middle of the,
Why?
I was like, I'm
Why?
confused. Why are they doing this?
Yeah,
And you
that's the
can
most.
see Jalen Brown saying like, get them off the court and,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I just didn't like the vibe that it was giving.
Mm,
I just didn't, and at that point, it wasn't like they were having major competition anyway. So at this
no,
point, I'm like,
no,
okay,
no.
it doesn't matter. I do not care about anything that's happening here. And I literally posted, is it competition that I'm seeing with the eyes emoji? And then I commented on my own post and said, false alarm.
Yeah,
Like, no competition, waste of time. I'm just glad I didn't spend my money to
that's,
go there at
that's what I'm
all. And
saying.
on top of that, LeBron James didn't even play. And that was the whole point. I don't even care about LeBron James as a player because again, just a rivals thing. But if I were to go to NBA All-Star,
He's
I
not.
want to see
All right, come
one of
on.
the greatest players to ever
Yeah,
play in the game, so I can say at least I saw him
at
before he
least I
rode off
saw.
into the
Right,
sunset.
right. So, and that's the saying. That's at the end of the day, you know, people are coming to see you, so you want to give them a show. And that's my problem, man, even with the all-star format. And that's my problem that permeates throughout the NBA. Like a lot of these cats just don't care anymore, man. They
They
just
don't.
don't care. Like, bro, I was just watching highlights, man, when you had the Kobe's and uh the the Kobe's and all that, man, in the All-Star game. Just and AI, all of them just battling it out. The
Yeah.
East versus the
AIKG,
West, just
Tim Duncan.
battling it out,
Come on,
man.
man.
Like nobody, like who is the best, West or the East, man? Like coming down
Yeah.
at it. Like, I'm coming at you, you coming at me. We going head to head. Like people, they got no pride anymore, man. It is what it is. Hey, we all friends. Hey, we just here to go and party All-Star weekend, bro. It's not even about basketball. But then that's disrespectful to the people
To
who
the
paid a
fans.
lot of money to get there, to see All-Stars in action, to see all these compilation of all-stars, because by the way, most people will never see most of those stars. Ever. Especially in person. But in person, you got all of the stars and you disrespect them by not trying to play. Like, come on, man. Give everybody their money back. If y'all not going to play, man, just cancel it altogether. But, yo, what they should do with the All-Star, I actually saw this, man, the other day. They were talking about it. If you really, because you can't give money to incentivize all-stars who are already making tens of millions of dollars. That's not going to do it. So to incentivize them, you do a format to where you get all international players to play all American players, all US-based players.
I'm with that.
I think that would set it off.
Give it an Olympic vibe.
That NHL Cup. What you about to say?
Okay. No, that gives that Olympic vibe. I don't know if you watch Court of Gold on Netflix. It's the latest Olympics documentary talking about the U.S. basketball team, along with Serbia and Canada. But that competition, we have enough international players, and they are hooping for that to actually be something to do. But it's, this is when Kyle gets a little bit excited and the boring voice goes away for a moment. Why are we here? Yes. Why are we at this juncture where we can't even say, let's have East versus West anymore? We got to figure out a whole nother thing, a whole nother format, as if what was working is no longer feasible. The only reason it's no longer feasible is because the players don't want to play it. That's all it comes down to.
That's all it comes down to.
But the format itself worked. It worked.
It worked. Now, you got cats who don't even play back to backs because they're not serious about basketball. Like, it's just money making to them, man, a lot of times. And there's a lot of entitlement that goes into it, man. It's just no.
Let's ask yourself this before we move on, Tyson. Would you go to the next All-Star weekend? If you had the money, I'm sure you would. But let's say that you were like, I got to actually plan and save for this situation. Would you go?
As it currently is?
As it currently is.
No way. I would
absolutely not.
I would never go.
Like, why would I go? Why would I go to this?
I barely watch it.
And on top of that,
watch it for free.
Them seats were mighty scanty. There were some scanty seats in there. It wasn't a packed house. From what I understand, there were two separate events going on. One at one arena in the Bay, one at another arena, I believe in Oakland, or I don't know if they're the same thing. I don't want to conflate. But there were two arenas worth of events happening simultaneously. So you had a split attention span and split viewership and attendance. So even that made it look like, oh, it ain't even lit over here. It's not even on and popping. Why would I even show up?
Why would I even show up? Come on, man. Come on. They disrespect the game, man. I can't stand it. I cannot.
I don't like that, man.
I'm not here for it, man. That's why, man, we move past it. And most of the time, too, like, we have to wait until All-Star break for a lot of players to get serious about playing, prepping for the playoffs. You know what I mean? So.
Which, I mean, speaking of which, because since we're already here, we may as well transition into the fact that these trades looking like they trading, right? These people look like they're starting to win a little bit. We're looking at, first of all, let's start with the Golden State Warriors.
Hey, come on over to my boys.
There, number 8 in the West. I feel as though they've probably bumped up at least two to four slots from prior to the the All-Star break.
They 5-1.
Jimmy Butler is out here looking like he's a good fit of some sort. I surprising enough, sure, is not enough for the totality. We've talked about this before, but at least in the last 5 games, he looks to actually be doing a pretty decent job. Tyson, do you like what you're seeing from your team?
I love what I'm seeing, man. Like, so, of course, hearing about Butler going to the Warriors, yes, it gave everybody a boost, but, it wasn't like, oh, we're going straight to a championship. We're going to the finals. It wasn't like that. But seeing how they're maneuvering, seeing how Butler and Curry are gelling, man, because you got Butler always going to the paint, going to the hole. Jimmy Butler setting the screen on for Curry, and Curry coming off the block. What you gonna do? You can't let
That's fair.
Butler run free to the basket. And you got to step up on Curry, man. I mean, you got, and that's exactly what they need. They needed a dog, man, who who is a force around the paint, who could also draw a lot of fouls. That's one thing they really haven't gotten. Somebody who could get you those tough points at the end of the day. Jimmy Butler, I mean, the way he's flowing, man, it's off the chain. And on the defensive end, he's still a monster. He's still a monster. So I'm
He's
loving
currently
the flow.
averaging about 16 points a game, averaging roughly about 5 assists a game. And we just talking about for the last 5 games,
Yeah,
and probably in and around 4 to 5 rebounds as well. He's playing really well.
yeah.
I think that it's surprisingly a decent fit so far. I thought that he and Draymond Green would be on each other's last nerves at this
Bro,
point.
I thought they were
But
gonna get in a fist fight the first week, but now
but
they
you know
laughing
why?
on the court.
I'll tell you why. You're winning.
Yeah,
Winning
that's what
cures
it does.
all things.
All
When
things.
you're winning, you don't have to beef. When you're winning, you don't have to talk about what you're doing wrong.
Nope.
So winning cures everything. And in
Yep.
this case, they've been what, 5-1 in their last six? Uh 5-1 in the last 6 games, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. I don't know where they
They're on a
are in their
roll.
last 10.
They're on a roll since Jimmy got there.
7-3. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. That's huge.
It's huge,
That's
man.
huge, and especially in the West that is so tight in their ranks and in their standings. That's huge. So again, shout out to the Warriors, shout out to Jimmy Butler for actually doing some things, making an impact over
Yeah.
there.
By the way, Jonathan Kaminga is even there, so they ain't even got their fourth or their third
Yeah.
as option, especially on the offensive end. So Kaminga comes back,
So
and
they didn't
Jim,
trade Kuminga, they traded
nah, they
Wiggins.
still got Kaminga.
Who they trade Wiggins to?
They trade Wiggins and a couple
Pod
round picks and somebody.
is it not Podzevich? I don't know. But
Yeah.
where did Wiggins go? That's what I'm trying to figure
Oh,
out.
Wiggins went to the Heat.
Oh, okay. And we
Yeah.
don't care about the Heat, so that makes sense. That makes
Hey, but I'm
sense.
loving, yo, Jonathan Kaminga comes back, and yo, Jimmy actually nurtures younger players too. Like
Mm.
they said, especially when he went to the Heat, man, what he did with Hero. Man, Kaminga comes back, man, and he starts believing, and they start feeding into him. They might be an issue. I mean, think about it. You don't want to see Jimmy, Curry, and Draymond in a 7-game series, man. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we could see that. I don't think that's I don't think that's as scary as you think, but I will say that from a competitive standpoint, with a playoff Jimmy, you don't want those problems. I would say that.
I'm just saying, look who he took to the finals. Really,
It wasn't like it was a bad
I'm not
team,
saying it was a
though.
bad team. You had Hero and Bam. What have Hero
Okay.
and Bam been doing by themselves since the break? Not much.
They
I'm just
can't.
saying, you replace Hero and Bam with Curry and Draymond on the offensive end, but on the defensive end, he's gonna give it to you. But you place Hero with Curry? Come on, man.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, in the same vein, we looking at the Milwaukee Bucks again.
Yeah,
They also had a traded away Chris Middleton. I think he went to the Wizards, if I'm not mistaken, or
yeah.
did he go? Yeah. They have
Fortunately,
Kyle Kuzma over there. Um, they're doing okay, 6-4 in the last 10 games. I mean, they're kind of, I feel as though personally, I feel as though they're kind of sliding. If I'm being honest, I don't feel as though they have gotten into the
yo,
break.
since they traded for Kuzma, they 5-2, Kyle. And
I
Kuzma
feel
been bought 16,
okay.
8-2. I
The
don't know, man.
trade, sure, but I feel as though they're not. Like when you're talking about competition in the East.
Yeah,
There was a point maybe 3 to 4 weeks ago, we were like Bucks, Cavs, Celtics.
right,
Not in that order, but
right.
those specific three. Now it's kind of like the Cavs and the Celtics. And then you kind of be like, oh yeah, and you might have to watch out for them Bucks too.
My
I don't know if, is it a fair thing for me to say or not? I'm still on the fence with that. But They are, like you said, 5-2 in their last 7 since the trade. Kuzma is out here hooping. Again, he's going to give you Chris Middleton numbers, but without the injury.
Without the
That's
injury.
what you want.
But Kyle, how's that going to translate in the playoffs? You already know Middleton is your boy in the playoffs. He is your clutch buckets in the playoffs.
Unintended.
Is Kyle? When's the last time Kyle Kuzma experienced the playoffs here?
He got to learn at some point.
I'm just saying. This ain't the
Let the
time. We trying to
man,
get it now.
let that man get some experience under his belt,
Man, you know how
and let's see
inconsistent
what
he is.
happens.
You know how.
You know what I also like? I like to see that Giannis and Lillard are actually kind of buddying up to one another
Yeah.
now. It's not like awkward anymore.
Nah,
And I like to
it took
see
a
that.
little while. It took a little while. You know, the adjustment takes a little while, especially with Damian. Like, I could imagine being the superstar on the team for that long and then having to come and play second fiddle to Giannis. I think
Yeah.
that was an adjustment right there. I was like, oh, this ain't my team. Like, when I pull up, everybody's not catered to me. I'm
Yeah.
walking in just like another regular player while everybody, the cameras, the staff, everybody over here with Giannis. Like, yo,
Yeah.
why am I not being carried in like royalty no more?
Not royalty.
Like royalty, man.
Come on, Tyson. But I don't have much to say about them. I don't. They okay. They're okay. They're on the cusp of you're either going to turn the corner and ramp it up or you're not. And then you're going to fall to the 6th seed because for some reason Detroit Pistons out here hooping, and then you're gonna
they are
have an
off
you're
the
gonna have
random,
an
by the way.
issue.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna get to that in just a second,
They
but
6 in the East now, down in
I ain't trying to hear nothing right now. Matter of fact,
Yo, yo,
we'll talk about that later.
yo.
Let's move a little bit
We gotta be
further.
objective, guy. Come on.
Let me get my objectivity ducks in a row. And then we can talk about that later on as we go through these
I know.
trade
They
talks.
did your boys dirty.
Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Mavericks out here uh, struggling.
Yeah.
Um,
AD got first hurt.
Struggling.
First game, yeah.
What did you expect?
I know.
How much times do we have to talk about the same
Yeah.
situation where we like, well, to be fair, Anthony Davis, he wasn't injured for the last 2 years, and now as soon as he said,
Soon
"I'm
as he gonna
here,"
do that.
hey, it's
The
just
Lakers
like
are like,
somebody.
see, we told y'all. We told y'all.
He has the make yourself home situation. You can't tell certain people make yourself at home. Why? Because they're gonna do the most. AD did the most.
Your
So as
stomach?
he said, I'm here. He said,
Your
oh,
stomach?
say no problem. Let me hurt myself real quick.
You ate something bad. Your stomach, you had to go. Come on. Look, I'm not
Beyond,
disrespecting him. I know he had some, but it gets to a point where it just gets ridiculous, man. Like I could see if it's the same reoccurring injury, but it'll be random stuff. Like it'll be, hey, by the way, I hit the ball too hard. The middle of my wrist is hurting. I gotta get this X-ray out 2 weeks. Like that's the type of AD type of injuries we talking about, man. Like, but I ain't gonna lie. The way he was out there balling, it
them
looked good
16 minutes though.
for the 6 minutes he was out there. But I mean, I think that if he is healthy, the Mavs could be a problem, but you can never rely on AD's health.
Never. Why are we here?
Why are we here?
Why are we here? Come on, man. Come on.
What we talking about, man? That's great.
So the adductor strain that I believe that he had in the first game, they said that he's making good progress and he's only expected to miss, I think, 10 games at the minimum. But you know, street clothes AD is a force to not be reckoned with because he will prove you wrong each and every time. And this is no shot at AD as a player. Excellent, excellent player. Even though I hate that he always trying to call for a foul. Anytime he goes in the lane, he's yelling every time. Hate it. Hate
I
it.
can't stand
But
that, bro.
excellent player, injury riddled.
He got that from LeBron, by the way. Go ahead though.
There's no way. There's no way. He's been A and B. He's been doing this since like the Hornets. That's how I
No, I'm talking
feel.
about the art of flopping. The art of flopping, he's been able to perfect it because of
Possibly.
LeBron.
We'll see where they are in the next, I don't know. Kyrie is always going to do his best. Uh, let's swap this around real quick.
Yeah.
Because Luka is actually doing decently enough with the Lakers. Had
Yeah.
a triple dub against his former team. Was it yesterday, I believe, or day before yesterday that game
Yeah.
occurred? So he's clearly just going to find his groove and he's going to be a hooper. That's what Luka is. Luka is
Yeah.
a non-stop, consistent hooper,
Yeah.
and he will find ways to make plays or find ways to score on the offensive side. You will be hidden on defense each and every single
Yeah.
time. But surprisingly, the defense in the Lakers has been better since Anthony Davis's absence. Why is that?
And that's you take this one first. You take this one first, man.
I don't like the Lakers. I don't want to talk about anything that is
Right.
pertaining to
So
them.
I will say, all right, Kyle. All right. So this is a shout out to my boy Kevin, real quick, because he's a diehard Laker fan. I told him I'll be objective, so I do have to present the facts. They have defensively gotten better, surprisingly, since AD left. Like they're top
Is it the
five in the
teams
league
that
in
they're
defense.
playing? Can it be that the teams that they're playing simply aren't good at
They
offense?
played the Nuggets and the
Okay.
Mavs. Like it is weird. Yeah. Now they stated, what's his name? JJ has been instituting some different defensive schemes, taking the load off of off of LeBron offensively, helps him play better defense. They're able to hide Luka within the defense. Look, I don't know. I I don't know. But this is a stat. I told her I'll put out there. I did my job. It's your turn, Kyle.
Shout out to the Lakers for doing what what they're supposed to do. Now, okay, subjectivity aside, I always had a respect for Lakers defense. Subjectivity aside, like I hate the Lakers. Like, look at what I'm wearing. Like, it's clear and apparent that I hate them.
Being all day.
Now, moving that aside and trying to be objective in the moment, I've always respected the Lakers defense this season. In fact, last season as well, but certainly this season, I felt as though they're no slouch on defense. They
Yeah.
will close out. They will put in some defensive schemes. They will protect the paint, clog the paint. They will, even though there's a hockey pass and swing, they're definitely going to try and chase that out. So I'm not surprised that they're doing that against, they are playing against certain teams. The last, I don't know, games that they were playing, they played the Hornets, the Jazz again, the Pacers.
Yeah.
But of course, you did play teams like the Warriors, the Clippers, and the Knicks. So you are showing that you are stepping up in these spaces. You're doing these things really well.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the explanation for it. Is it overcompensation now that you have a new team member that they recognize is a liability on defense? So they
Right.
must say, well, we know we have to hide him on defense, so let's step up in certain ways to overcompensate for this liability here. Whatever they're doing it well. And whatever they're doing is causing them to win.
Yeah.
And I believe that they're what, fifth in the West or something like that.
I
And they're
think so.
8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah. It seems
Mm.
we've been talking a lot about the Lakers. I'm
All right, next topic then. Kings, Sacramento Kings. Since the trade, they have been 4-2 with Zach LaVine out here averaging 23, 4 and 3. De'Aaron Fox is over there hooping, absent of Victor Wembanyama
yeah.
because of the DVT, the thrombosis. I really pray and hope that everything is okay with him. So 4-2 is good. That's actually a really good
That's,
record. Same as the Lakers. So again, they're both in the West doing their thing. Do you feel as though this is a fit, Tyson? Do you feel as though this is a fit, Tyson?
Not at all, man. We already know it's the Levine and DeRozan show all over again, like it was with the Bulls, man. And you don't have a point guard to help facilitate them for real, man. You lost them in De'Aaron Fox, so I mean, it's a decent show to put some people in the seats for now, but you know, man, they're not going anywhere. What are they currently? Their standings are
10.
they're
They're
10th.
10th.
They don't even want to make the playoffs. They don't even look like they they look like they want to get to their summer vacation early. That's how they look.
Yeah, I wouldn't
That's
be
how they
surprised about that. And I mean, it's the Kings.
yeah.
The Kings were such a great team to be 10th. Something is going on in that locker room. Something is
That's been a
wrong.
problem.
What is
Did you see where DeRozan stopped following Sabonis on Instagram or something like that, and people called him out, well, no, De'Aaron Fox stopped following Sabonis once the trade happened,
okay?
on Facebook or Instagram, and somebody called him out on it. He was like, "Yo, we just worked together basically. We're teammates.
Mm,
We don't have to be friends to be teammates." I was like, "Oh, bro."
mm.
There might have been something in the locker room because remember these were the boys who were supposed to be next in line after
They were
Luka.
the next in line.
I don't know how
I
that.
don't know what's going on there,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but regardless, they're going to get to the play-in, I'm sure.
Yeah,
And that's kind of it. I
that's
have
where
no
it stopped. That's
expectations
where it
for the
stopped.
Sacramento Kings.
No, me.
Now, if we're talking about expectations, what's
Mm-hmm.
happening right now
Where we going,
with the New York Knicks?
man? Bro, the expectations was so high because so in my mind, Kyle, of course, it's all about chemistry on the court for me, especially with the cats that you play in, because it's a different type of confidence between playing with a bunch of randoms
Mm.
that you really don't have any chemistry with, and then coming in with your own five. It's a different level of confidence. And I thought, the Villanova boys were gonna come in and do that, but man, it's just like some of the top teams they're losing against. The Celtics, all the way down to
The
the
Cavs,
Cavs, man, they getting
the
not just beat, they
Lakers.
getting smacked. They
Yeah.
been getting smacked. It's like, yo, what is different? And then you added Towns, I don't know, man. They said they have a problem um, with defending wing with 3-point shooters, with the wings, but you would think defense would be the number one. You think they'd be top 5 in defense, and it just hasn't been looking good. I think they're still trying to find their groove offensively, especially with so many weapons. But I don't know. What you feeling, man?
I'm not gonna be like, let's hit the panic button on them or anything.
Nah,
They're still third in the East.
yeah.
Like, we're gonna have to still respect them for that
I
that
put some
mere
respect on the
feat.
name. Yeah,
So it's not a panic situation. It's just that you're no longer like be on the lookout for the Knicks in the
right.
playoff situation. It's like we just got to get through the Knicks, like we got to get through the Pistons, like we got to get through the
Yeah,
Pacers.
yeah,
So you're kind of dropped a little bit in that respect level, but you're still third in the what? You're third in the East. There, I think you know what it is. You're just having a rough go. You
mm,
know, you're on a losing streak or a skid. A skid is probably better. You're not losing every game. You're winning some. I think they won against the Sixers recently. You won against the Hawks in overtime by a point.
yeah,
So you're just having a skid right now, but I don't think it's necessarily time to hit any type of panic button. They've been playing really, really well. They're gelling better than I could have imagined, honestly.
yeah,
And I have to respect that. So it's enough to just say, keep an eye out on what they're doing.
yeah,
But what are they, 6-4? 6-4 in their last 10.
yeah.
That's okay.
It's above average. So I will say though, the Knicks are the one team that really turn it up in the playoffs too. That's not who you want to play in the first round. So I will
No,
say, yeah,
it is not. But at the same time, will they have legs for the playoffs? You have to ask yourself, how much are you being pushed in the regular season to get a
prepare
good
for the playoffs.
seeding
You're right.
in order for you to have legs in the playoffs?
You're right.
I don't know how much more they can turn it up,
Yeah.
and but it will be fun to watch. With
Most definitely.
Carl Anthony Towns over there doing what he's doing, I really do like how he's gelled and ingratiated himself into that whole concept of a team. So I certainly would like to see what they look like in the playoffs as
Yeah.
well. Um, Going forward, Boston Celtics, we are we are on cruise control, guys. We are 8-2. We just had a little bit of a speed bump, with the Detroit Pistons that gave us 20 yesterday, last night. And I knew that this was going to happen. We were like, I think the score was like 3-19, like three, it was like some very large gap at the
Yeah.
very beginning of the
Mercy.
game.
Y'all playing
And I
catch up
was
all game.
like,
Yeah.
we played catch up all
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We just finished playing earlier. I feel as though this was coming off of a back-to-back.
Yeah.
We played I think it was Toronto a couple days before that. Then we played them. We lose sometimes.
But I think this is just y'all on cruise control, especially, and I've heard this too from teams that have won championships back to back. Like after you won a championship, you definitely want to get back there, but there's a certain level that you're preparing yourself for in the playoffs. So sometimes mentally, sometimes you just check out doing random seasonal games because your mind is focused on, the playoffs. And I think, teams, trying to win it back to back, they just get into that dry spell. I think everybody goes through it. But I
That's
will
how I
say
feel.
too, it's amount of effort. And this is why I say it's dry spell. And maybe mentally, it's like maybe we don't have to go as hard. Because if you look at the stats from the game last night with Detroit, they beat y'all in every single
You ain't gotta, you ain't had
category,
you
bro.
you did not have
I'm
to say it that
look,
way.
I'm just saying that's
You
effort,
literally put some sauce on that. Like they
assists,
beat y'all in
rebounds,
every. You ain't had to
offensively.
do
Like,
that.
come on. And
That
then
inflection was unnecessary,
I'm sorry.
Tyson.
I gotta be objective and point it out. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes teams get too comfortable coming off of the championship. Y'all see the playoffs coming. Y'all like, I bet we know we're gonna be up in there already. You know what I mean? The games like this, it's Detroit. They straight. We know we could beat them in a playoff series, but look, I don't know, man. I don't know that. Like I said, that's effort for every category, and then y'all started to grind into your turnover
Oh my
game,
gosh,
trying
man.
to go back. I don't know, man. I don't know.
We all right.
Y'all straight, y'all good.
Hey,
Y'all
we
just making
lose
sure y'all
sometimes.
healthy enough for the playoffs. That's what y'all
You
doing.
know how hard that is? We got Kristaps Porzingis on our team.
Yeah,
That man needs to be in bubble wrap at all times
all
because
time.
he for
Save that man
sure
for the playoffs.
going,
Save him for
oh
the
my
playoffs.
goodness.
Yeah,
We got to preserve Al Horford.
at
He
all time.
tired and old,
Yeah,
and we love him, but we recognize like, hey, you need your rest too.
yeah. We
Jalen
understand.
Brown did not play this game. Are we aware of this
Yeah,
fact? Therefore, you lose by 20.
yeah.
It happens. It happens. You know what I'm saying? You didn't
That's what
play.
he.
If you played Jalen Brown and lost by 20, if you
It'd be a
played
problem.
him
Yeah.
uh, and lost by 20, then you could be like, okay,
Might have had more
well,
turnovers too. No, I'm playing. I'm
might have more turnovers, but at least the score may not have looked the same way.
playing. And Pritchard
Tatum,
gave y'all 18. Dang, bro.
Pritchard, first of all,
He been
is
balling.
has to be a shoe-in for sixth man of the year.
No,
There's
real
no
talk. No,
way
most
anybody should win
improved.
over him.
Most improved.
He
Because he
should win
wasn't doing
both.
this last season.
He should win both.
Yeah, yeah.
He should
Yeah.
win both.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing that. Come on. But that aside, we had, Drew Holiday wasn't hooping like that.
Yeah, it's tough.
And
2 for 10.
Porzingis was not hooping like that.
Uh,
And Jaylen Brown wasn't there. We
yeah,
lost. Things happen, guys.
they
It's
happen.
okay.
This is
It's
it's a
okay.
caveat. It's okay, man. It trickles off.
It trickles off. You know, 8-2, still second in the East. I don't think that we have necessarily any major competition behind us. 3.5 games out is the Knicks, and the Knicks already kind of on a decent skid of their own. But I will give more credit to the Detroit Pistons because they're on an 8-game winning streak. We have to give them credit. We have to applaud them. This is a team that has not been doing this well for eons, it
Yeah,
feels like. And
yeah.
so to see them actually playing well, playing as
Good
a
to see.
team. Cade Cunningham showing why he deserves to be an all-star. These are the
By the
things I
way,
love to see.
yeah, you just didn't like seeing it for your team against your team. I understand. I understand.
I
I
I I'm okay. I'm okay. So it's quite fine that, things happen and
Yo,
it has to happen against the best team sometimes.
by the way, y'all made Malik Beasley look like an all-star last night. That's my last one. That's my last one. I'm done. I'm
The
done. Let's
Detroit
move on to the
Pistons
next.
are doing well. Kudos to them. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Clippers, please. The Los Angeles Clippers are, I don't know what they are, to be
they
honest.
they trying to
And,
figure it out.
and this Ben Simmons acquisition,
Jeez, man.
Tyson, what do you feel?
By
What
the
do you
way,
feel about the entirety of the Clippers and Ben Simmons?
that wasn't even popularized at all because it's like nobody really cared. It's like, oh, Ben Simmons going to clear. Oh, okay, like that whole saga is done. Like everybody just, I
Yeah,
think at this point, done with Ben Simmons. It's like, okay, now you got to show me for me to be attentive at all. You got to show me
yeah,
something.
yeah.
I mean, so I mean, they say he's been doing all right coming off the bench. I mean, yesterday, bro, he had what did he do, man? He had what off the bench, 18 minutes, 3 for 8. He had 8 rebounds, 8 assists. So hey, I guess in situations, Kyle, where he's
Mhm.
not the spotlight, he kind of thrives. Like when he's in the background, no attention on him, I think he could thrive. All the attention is on Harden and Leonard. He could just come off the bench. And if he does something, he does something. If he doesn't, he doesn't. So there's no real pressure. So this might be a good situation for him. I think too, moving forward as a contender, if Kawhi can stay healthy, they're gonna be a problem, Kyle. If he can stay healthy, they're gonna be a problem. I know, I
Will he
know.
stay healthy?
But when's the last time we had a healthy Kawhi throughout the duration of the playoffs?
The Raptors, maybe?
That
I
long.
feel like that's kind of it. And he was preserved until that time.
Yeah. Oh,
When, go
they
ahead.
did
I'm
add
listening.
Bogdanovich too. But go ahead. What were you about to say?
No, I was just saying that the Kawhi thing is not as much of an X factor for me as it is for most.
Yeah.
Of course, he's playing really, really decently. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
taking that away from them, but they're like win three, lose three, win three, lose three, win three,
Yeah.
lose three, win three, lose three. I don't
Yeah.
know how many of those games, because I'll be lying if I said that I'm following all of the games that the Clippers are playing to say, well, which games are Kawhi playing? Is he playing on a back-to-back? Probably
Yeah.
not. So is he the X factor, meaning when he's on the court, we win the three. When he's off the court, we lose the three. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they're okay. But it's great to have him back. It's great to have him in a position as six in the West. I think that this is all I could ask for of a Los Angeles Clippers team at this point. They're right there, neck and neck, really, with the rest of the West, 4 games behind the Lakers for the fifth
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
But they're only half a game out from the Timberwolves,
Yeah.
who we have to talk at a later time. I'm concerned.
Oh, very, very
I
concerned.
just have to
Yeah,
put that
it's a
out there.
problem. It's a problem. They're not doing anything in this run.
I mean, that comeback from the Thunder, that
That
was
was, by
incredible.
the way, that was
But
miraculous. And you
yeah,
know who was on the bench doing that comeback?
who?
Anthony Edwards.
No, he was the one who blocked SGA. Oh, you're talking
In
about
overtime, he
during the run. Okay.
doing that run back in the
Gotcha,
fourth,
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Anthony Edwards was on the bench.
That's
That's
concerning.
the crazy part. those last 8 minutes, 7, 8 minutes,
That's
he's gonna
concerning.
bench. I was like, oh man, that's a problem. But I don't know, man. It's they just don't have any chemistry. I mean, it's colluded. It's all boxed up in the paint. He can't go anywhere. You got Randall and Gobert in the paint. It's a problem, man.
Congestion is going to continue to be their issue.
Yeah.
Whether Randall is on the court or definitely when Randall's on the court, but whether he's on the court or not, I just don't feel as though he was a good fit for this
No.
team at all.
No.
But I mean, we just talked about the Thunder. The Thunder is the real deal, right?
Yeah.
Are we okay in saying that?
Oh, most definitely.
Are they going to be the one that really does come out the West?
Out the West? Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Anybody who says anything different, bro, it's not been paying attention. And I understand because they're a small market, but they doing their thing, man.
They are. That's how I feel. The Thunder is probably going to come out the West just the way that they're competing.
Yeah.
And they're still trying to, reintroduce Chet Holmgren to the group, get his legs underneath him so that he's more of a defensive threat, et cetera, et cetera. That comeback was crazy against them. I don't know how they let that get away from them, especially in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But that aside, yeah, I think that the Thunder, there's nothing about them that I'm like, you know what, besides shooting. I don't think they're good shooters. This is just me. Not everybody agrees, but I don't think that they're good shooters whatsoever. I think they're average at best. But they're 8-2 in their last 10. They're 9 games ahead of any other team in the West, just on cruise control. They really are. Yeah. And I feel as though if they keep this up, they will certainly be, at minimum, Western Conference Finals, at best in the finals, which I would love to see. I would love to see. But people are saying, don't look now. Here comes the Lakers. Don't look now. Here comes the Warriors.
Dude, when they beat the Nuggets, do you know how many phone calls I got saying that the Lakers are going to the finals? Bro.
I would hope none, but apparently there must have been at least one.
They finally beat the Nuggets, and all of a sudden they're going to the finals. By the way, where Luka's going to get exposed again on defense. If you play the Nuggets again, AD is gone. Who is guarding Jokic? Hayes? Okay.
They're going to put
Rui
That's a good question. I was about to say Rui, but I was like, that's a good question.
Yeah, it's a problem. I'll let us.
They don't have anyone to stop that.
No, not at all. No.
Yeah, I mean, they won't. I can't wait to the playoffs, man.
I'm here for it.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait. Because they're top to bottom, these are great teams. Can you imagine Thunder playing the Warriors in the first round?
I don't want to see that though. Warriors ain't ready for that type of action.
But you just saw about Jimmy and Draymond and stuff.
Yeah, we need to get to a first playoff round with like the Rockets or something first. Give us something.
The way that is currently seeded, Tyson, the Warriors could very well play the Thunder. The Grizzlies would be playing the Timberwolves, Tyson. The Nuggets would be possibly playing the Clippers, the Rockets, and the Lakers. Oh my goodness, the man. Yeah, I can't wait to the playoffs.
I'm hyped. Because it's wide open. You got the Thunder, and then it's wide open.
Yeah. It really is. So I look forward to it. Look, we just trying to, again, get our bearings as we look through these different narratives that are happening around the league. Yeah. You were able to at least discuss a little bit of the All-Star break. And we're also kind of just talking about the different trades and how much their impact has been thus far. Yeah. And I love it. And I do appreciate you all for, of course, joining us on the Clutch Buckets podcast. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. My name is Kyle Spence.
And I'm Josh Tyson. Till next time.
We out.
Yeah.
Peace.